Oh, friends, hello. Sorry, I've been watching way too much South Park here lately. Don't call me friend, buddy. Hey, I'm not your buddy, pal. Well, anyways, I had actually recorded this video. This was supposed to have its own audio with it, but I feel like with this tutorial, I come across a little preachy, like almost like down-putting to you guys, and I don't want to be like that. Like, I want you to watch these tutorials and get an idea from it and maybe use it. Like, I don't want to kind of just go on and kind of be chastising the way you all might build stuff or do stuff. So let's just jump into this and see if I can help you. The start of this right here, this is what I see a lot when people ask me, like, oh, what can I do to make my water look better? Well, a lot of times I'll see that if it just looks like this, you've just made it a little bit of a hole and filled it with water. But if you really want to do it and make it look a little more believable, I have did this tutorial. You take this as kind of like a pond tutorial. You know, when it's finished, you'll see it's more like a I don't know, like a wilderness type pond. But the main part is, and like I said, I'll try to keep up with this because it had its own audio, but now I'm just kind of dubbing over it because totally didn't like the way it sounded. But anyways, this is one of the most important parts. You're layering to make it. You want to make it look as natural as possible. And typically, you know, with bodies of water, large or small, you have your shallower, you know, area closer to the edge, closer to the shore, and then it gets, obviously, you know, it gets deeper as you go out. Well, don't make that any different in Planet Coaster. If you want a nice beach area, shore area, shoals maybe, it's all about your layering. So what I'm doing right here is I am layering it. The key is you want to be able to see the ground, and you know, like you see me here, you've got to you know, finagle it a little bit. You just, you know, it's something you definitely don't want to like jam the mouse button and hold the button down, but you know, just give it a couple taps and get it to where you can still see the ground. And what I go into next, that's really important. I'm sure you guys know this, but if you don't, that is your terrain paint. That makes all the difference. So right here, on this particular map, I forget what it might be. Deciduous. I don't remember which one this actually is. Whatever one I built Choppus on, but you don't actually have as many sand options as you do, like, say, on the tropical biome. But this works just as good. So see, I've kind of went even underwater and around on the edge. Putting this sand down gives it that muddy kind of underwater type look. So that is kind of what you want to go for. Differentiate the level of water. You've got your deep water, and then you've got your shore, shallow water. So really, it's not that big of a deal if you'll just dive into your paints a little bit in the terrain. So then naturally, too, if you want to give it a little more, you know, a little more kick, start with the rocks. You want to get you some rocks in there. You know, you don't have to do like a whole bunch and make it look unnatural, but plop you a few rocks down. I assure you, it'll turn out good if you can just get you a few rocks, stack them together, layer them, make sure you don't have them all in like just one long direction, and then as you see right here, go into your foliage, your landscaping. Don't underestimate the power of landscaping in this game. It will take the most boring piece of land you could ever think of and turn it into something respectable, and you know, the biggest part of this type of tutorial, and when you're doing your ponds and stuff like this, is do not lose interest or get disheartened so fast. You kind of need to let the scene play out. Mix and match, throw in different bushes, try different trees, maybe take away the rocks, maybe lay them out a different way. But the point is, and I think that can go for this game in general. Like right here, I'm laying down, I lay down a few trees. It changes the whole look of the pond. But that's the thing. I think that's a good note for this game in general. Do not let yourself get discouraged fast. And that's what I have tried to do, because if you'll notice, some of your best work comes when you push through and just keep trying ideas, because sometimes it's not going to look good right off the bat. So you've got to just, sometimes when it's complete crap and you just abandon it. You might totally click out of a map, but sometimes you have to let it flesh out a little bit and give yourself more credit. Let the scene flow. And this is another thing that Silver Red talks about a lot, is don't underestimate the power of these smaller rocks. Everything doesn't have to be the giant rocks or the terrain work. These little tiny rocks can really help tell a story, and in this case, a pretty neat story with the pond edge here. Another thing you want to check out is your dead trees. The dead trees and the logs, if you can fold them over, like you'll see here in a minute. I don't remember. Let's see. Right here's where I do it. Just these little dead trees, fold them over, let them fall over into the water. It looks like natural driftwood. Can really help tell the story, show your scene off, and yeah, I think it works really well when you use this. And a matter of fact, here in a second, I pull out a larger one, even make it fall over. I think, yes, see? Just pull it over, sink it back into the bank a little bit, and it just looks like a tree that's fallen over. It gets you a real natural look. Everything still looks normal. It doesn't look like that wouldn't happen in nature. So, just play around with it a little bit. What else did I try here for you? Oh yeah, another shout out to Nighty. I think we haven't heard a lot from him lately because his PC's messed up, so he hasn't been able to really to build or put anything out. But I got this idea from him, and that is taking your your hanging vines that you would probably naturally use for buildings. He come up with this idea on one of the temple. You might have seen from my Creekside foliage tutorial. They make perfect lily pads, so. Yeah, I mean, just play around with this stuff. You might come up with an idea. If you come up with something cool, send it out to me. If I think I can use it, I'll give you a shout out. And if it works good, you might turn a lot of players on to your idea. So, yeah, and then other than that, it just goes to this kind of like, the under foliage. Don't leave it so blank. If you start out with the foliage on top, make sure you fill some of it in on the bottom. It just gives it that more natural look. And, I mean, here we are, we have not been at this very long, maybe 7.5 minutes right now. Oh, and another thing, too, here in a second, I'll show you to kind of finish up tying up this scene. Got to give a shout out to Macbar. He's made this awesome little cabin, and that goes back to, like, say, if this was in your park and this was just a small little, just a little circle of water, and you can see here what we've turned it into in like exactly 8 minutes right now. Like here in just a second, I'm going to plop down Macbar's cabin, and I'll link that in the description box below. So go pick up that cabin from him because it looks straight up awesome. Actually makes me want to sit down and maybe do a time lapse and kind of add to his cabin and maybe build a couple. But I digress. This is pretty much the end of it, guys. So we have went from, as a matter of fact, here in a second, I'll show you what we came from. And this might be what it looks like in your park right now. And you might be able to take this and go back and change some things up. So, yeah, here in a second, I will show you what we started at. Come on, Steve, hurry up. The people are waiting. Yeah, and then I put some water in this right here. And look, that is what we came from. And that might be what you have right now. That might be all that you've tried. We go from that to this in 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Even less than that, because we were done probably about a minute ago. So in a little over 8 minutes, we have totally transformed a pond into a believable kind of like, pondside cabin area, wilderness area. And it took us 8.5 minutes. So this is not something we sat here. That's why I wanted to do this in real time, just to show you. It does not take that long if you just sit down and grind it out and have an idea in your head. Yeah, so you could imagine they come out of that cabin, come out here and go fishing, swimming, maybe a rope swing out of those trees into the pond. I mean, all that. So anyways, guys, that's all your old boy Steve's got for you. Give me a thumbs up if you end up enjoying this video. Subscribe for more Planet Coaster content, and let me know what you need help on and what you would like to see a tutorial on, and I'll see if I can make something happen for you. Anyways, guys, thank you all again, and I'll catch you next time.
I'm so far out of sight.